The fight against Constitutional Amendment number 3 is not over. Today, I want to explain why. Yes, Parliament has passed it. Yes, the President has signed it into law. But that does not mean the struggle has ended. In fact, it's only just beginning. Legally, the fight is just beginning. The most significant constitutional challenges were always going to come after the bill became law. Those cases have now been filed, and the courts have real constitutional powers. They can order a referendum and say that it was unlawfully denied. They can even declare Constitutional Amendment number 3 invalid in its entirety. Whether they will do so, of course, remains to be seen, and given our long history of pressure on Zimbabwe's judiciary, we can't place all our hope in the courts alone. And that's why there are at least 4 other arenas where every Zimbabwean has a role to play. The first is non-violent action. We could call it the streets, although that phrase can be a bit misleading because non-violent action is about much more than just marches and demonstrations. And in Zimbabwe, where many people have experienced political violence, we need to be creative and come up with low-risk ways of making our voices heard. An example I love is the Yellow Card campaign, where people are demanding fair play, demanding respect for our constitution, but we can participate safely yet visibly standing up for our democracy. The second arena is hearts and minds. Every struggle is also a battle of ideas, and we must confront our own fears, ask why do they exist, and refuse to let them determine our future. At the same time, we should use our constitutional freedoms of thought and expression to have honest conversations with our families, our friends, our colleagues, and our communities. Change begins with changing the narrative. The third arena is our communities. Section 58 protects our right to freedom of association. Building a movement doesn't begin with large organizations. It begins in neighborhoods, in churches, in sports clubs, in workplaces, and in community groups. Strong communities create strong democracies. Together we can organize, support one another, and build a shared vision of the Zimbabwe that we want. One founded on respect for the Constitution, human rights, the voice of the people. And finally, there's the spiritual arena. The struggle is not only political, it is also spiritual. Throughout scripture, the prophets did not simply predict the future. They spoke truth to power. They confronted kings, exposed injustice, defended the vulnerable, and called nations back to righteousness and justice. That same prophetic witness is needed today. We must be people of prayer, courage, truth, hope, and action, seeking God's kingdom of justice and peace in our nation. So, the fight against constitutional amendment is not over. It continues in the courts. It continues through non-violent action. It continues in the battle for hearts and minds. It continues as we strengthen our communities, and it continues in prayer and faithful prophetic witness. Every one of us has a role to play. Together we can defend our constitution, protect our democracy, and build the Zimbabwe that future generations deserve. Please join with me in that struggle. Thank you.